His heart belongs to you, yet someone else shares his daily life. Pause and breathe deeply, because the explanation you're about to discover might finally make sense of the confusion swirling inside your chest. If these words reached you during a solitary hour, if unexplained sadness weighs upon you, if one particular soul continuously enters your thoughts, uninvited, understand this isn't coincidence. His feelings for you are genuine. That reality cannot be dismissed. Let's address the uncomfortable truth most refuse to acknowledge openly. Indeed, his affection for you runs deep. Not superficially, not fleetingly, not born from emptiness. His devotion frightens him to his core. He awakens thinking of you while denying these thoughts exist. Every person he encounters becomes measured against you unconsciously. He retains tiny particulars about your existence that slip even your own memory. Your expressions of joy, your quiet moments, how you respond when wounded, yet attempting. Strength. He perceives the authentic you, not your public persona, but the vulnerable self you guard carefully. And precisely this recognition creates such complexity. Yet another person occupies space in his world, and here anguish takes root. Certainly someone else exists alongside him currently. However, pay close attention because these distinctions carry weight. She isn't the partner his spirit selected. She represents the choice his anxiety made. She embodies security, recognition of patterns, duty, predictability, established rhythms. Never intensity, never authenticity, never profound connection. Her presence continues because departure feels dangerous, because selecting you demands transforming his entire existence, because genuinely loving you necessitates bravery. He hasn't completely discovered within himself yet. This additional woman might possess longer history with him. She potentially appears more grounded when examined objectively. She might satisfy external expectations more readily, yet she never touches the depths of his spirit as you accomplish. Understanding why he remains, despite his soul pulling toward your direction, matters immensely. This represents where widespread misunderstanding occurs. People assume authentic love guarantees immediate action, but existence proves far more complicated than simple equations suggest. He continues because judgment terrifies him. Causing pain terrifies him. Beginning anew terrifies him. Failure terrifies him. Disappointing relatives, community standards, or his own self-image terrifies him. Above everything else, losing both relationships simultaneously creates paralyzing dread. Therefore, he becomes immobilized. Within that motionless state, he inflicts wounds without physical contact. The invisible conflict raging inside his consciousness goes unwitnessed by you. Internal voices compete constantly. One murmurs, "Remain in known territory. Don't demolish existing structures." The opposing force shouts, "You recognize your true love. You identify who genuinely feels like belonging." During nighttime hours when observation ceases, the dominant voice isn't hers. Your name echoes loudest. This explains his phone-checking behavior, hoping for your contact. This clarifies his withdrawn silence after encountering reminders of you. This reveals why distance occasionally appears, not from indifference but from caring excessively. The reason complete abandonment proves impossible stems from a simple fact. Had forgetting you been achievable, the process would have concluded already. Yet impossibility defines this situation. Your presence awakened dimensions within him that his current partner never ignited. Emotional transparency, openness to being seen, internal examination, motivation towards self-improvement. You didn't merely offer affection, you catalyzed transformation. And human beings rarely abandon those who fundamentally altered their trajectory. Understanding her position requires difficult honesty that brings illumination despite potential pain. She detects incompleteness, Your specific identity might remain unknown to her, yet emotional distance registers clearly. She perceives the absence. She recognizes portions of him exist elsewhere mentally and emotionally. This generates strain, remorse, bewilderment between them. He might maintain concern for her. Respect might genuinely exist, but authentic devotion, genuine connection, doesn't manifest as burden. Love doesn't require forcing. Love doesn't resemble obligation. The intensity you experience within this bond has tangible reasons. Your instincts aren't fabricating feelings. Your consciousness recognizes something incomplete, unresolved. This connection burns intensely because proper conclusion never occurred. Honest conversation never happened. Fair opportunity never materialized. And emotionally unfinished attachments don't dissolve quietly into nothing. They reverberate continuously. His current emotional landscape holds specific characteristics even absent verbal confirmation. Right now, internal division consumes him alongside guilt, confusion, complete emotional depletion. He questions himself constantly. Did I select incorrectly? Will I lose the sole person comprehending my true self? Has timing already passed beyond redemption? Indeed, your potential movement forward haunts him more profoundly than he'd ever acknowledge openly. This situation carries profound lessons extending beyond his circumstances. This message serves your awakening, not merely explaining his behavior. Remembering your inherent value becomes essential now. You didn't enter his reality to plead for partial devotion. You weren't designed to become someone's hidden suffering. You weren't meant for perpetual emotional suspension between possibilities. This connection demonstrates what authentic emotional richness resembles, what you deserve receiving, what compromises should never be accepted. Regarding potential resolutions, listen with complete attention. Only 3 pathways exist for this situation's evolution. He discovers courage sufficient for choosing truth despite comfort's sacrifice. You prioritize yourself, and his realization arrives after opportunity vanishes. Life removes choice entirely from both participants through external circumstances. Whichever direction unfolds will expose his genuine character. Actions speak, not promises. A crucial final perspective requires your consideration. Pain doesn't validate love's existence. Waiting doesn't prove love's authenticity. Choice demonstrates love's reality. When his feelings prove genuine, eventually, he'll stand within that truth courageously. Should that moment never arrive, this connection wasn't designed to imprison you within suffering. Its purpose involved awakening your understanding of self-worth. If resonance occurred while listening, if heaviness settled upon your heart, if one particular face persistently appeared mentally, if uncomfortable accuracy defined this experience, trust these sensations. Your sanity remains intact. You aren't excessive in your needs. Unlovability doesn't define your essence. You're simply connected to someone, still learning courage's meaning. Welcome to Psychology Wisdom. If exploring hidden dimensions of consciousness and emotion intrigues you, please like this video and subscribe to Psychology Wisdom, activating notifications to ensure you receive every insight capable of transforming your perspective forever.